All right, welcome back to the Pictorial Show. Time to bring in our former Hogs to talk with us. Travis Swanson, Austin Allen in the house. And guys, we could talk about this game and we can analyze it a little bit offensively and defensively. But first and foremost, as a former player, I want your reaction to this win last night. Travis, you go first.
I'm on the same high that every other fan is right now. It's good. Good to see the guys finally get a win after going through as much as they have for the last 2 years. Happy for Coach Pittman, just because I know, like I said in the past, what this means to them. I know that they're going to be enjoying this one definitely for at least the rest of today. And I know they got to move on to Auburn.
Yeah, for me, same thing. Just in my condo last night, watching with some of my buddies, and my brothers called me screaming, doing all that, and then you wake up this morning, the sun just hits a little different, where you have a little pep in your step. You check your app to make sure, like, oh, it wasn't a dream. Arkansas, they got the win, and like Travis said, they got to enjoy it on this Sunday, and then put it behind them and get ready for Auburn next week.
You could scroll on Twitter and just see the flux of tweets from former player after former player talking about what this means to the program, what this means as a former Razorback. Austin, as a guy who led this offense for so many years, that win to break that SEC losing streak as a former Hog now, what does it mean to you?
For me, it's just a sense of pride, knowing how much the Arkansas Razorbacks means to the state, and how they wanted to win that for one, Coach Pittman, and then two, the whole state of Arkansas. And then the other part of it is a little bit of a relief, where they were in some games the past few years and couldn't pull out the fourth quarter, and then for them to actually, play a full four quarter game and then come out with the victory, and then understand what it feels like to win in the locker room and keep that going forward. So I thought they played their tails off, and just the pride I have as a former player watching the celebration was really cool.
Travis, you're one of those guys that tweeted last night.
I was, yes. And like I said, how can you not be excited? Just because, for me watching this, I thought it was a full game. Like, they finally played a full game from all aspects: defense, special teams, and offense. And obviously the defense stepped up big, given their performance. Offense showed a lot of promise. I think they built on what they did the week before. I think you can still, take a lot away from this game, that they're going to go into this week for Auburn and try to build on. I think the running game, obviously, there's a lot more left on the bone there. Only had, I think, 63 yards, which still, like I said, a lot to be left on the bone there that they're going to kind of try to attack. But hats off to Barry Odom and that defense for the game plan that they had. You can tell that they definitely did their preparation top notch this week for that game that they had.
Automatic improvement from a week ago was the fact that Arkansas, the offense, was able to sustain drives, get into the end zone. Austin, what did you see maybe from Felipe Franks or these wide receivers that was different from the week before?
Yeah, I thought they took care of the ball. If you win the turnover battle, you limit penalties, you're going to win more games than you lose. Where I thought he did a good job of taking what was there, where those 3rd and 2s, instead of trying to force the ball, he would go get it with his feet and to keep the drives going. Where prior to that, it might have tried to force the ball, maybe an interception or something like that. But for him to sustain drives that way, and then I really liked what I saw to Davion Warren, where he was a guy, he was there when I was there, and he's just a hard worker, where he's got a lot of speed, and for him to have a breakout game like that, I couldn't be happier for him. And then, like Travis said, the running game, that's still a work in progress, but when you have one of your best players go down, Rakeem Boyd, and then Traylon Smith, for him to come in and do as well as he did, where it might not have gotten the yards he liked, but picking up blitzes, doing things like that, I thought he did a good job, and hopefully they continue doing that.
One of my favorite moments also when you talk about Davion Warren was they cut to him running off the sidelines and just jumping on his wide receiver coach Justin Stepp. That was one of my favorite moments because he worked so hard.
That's a guy that I'll always root for, where I think he was a freshman when I was a senior, and he came in. He's mature for his age. Might not have got the most opportunities the past few years, but the fact his number was called and what he did last night was really special to watch.
Hey, Travis, what about that defense? 3 interceptions that included a pick 6. Then you hold KJ Costello and that Mississippi State offense to 312 yards less than the week before against LSU.
Yeah, I thought it was great. When anytime that you can just rush 3 and drop 8, and also get pressure when you're just rushing 3, I think speaks volume to the defensive linemen, and it's also giving the back end guys a lot of flexibility with what they can do. And anytime that you face these air raid style offenses, and you're tasked with having to defend all these different combinations, exotic route trees, I would imagine, I've never had to do it myself. I would imagine it's kind of hard to do that. So hats off to Barry Odom and that entire defense. I'm very happy for them. I also think that they saw how Mississippi State, their protection structure was kind of set up, which I saw at times when I was looking at it, somewhat questionable. And they were, like I said, found ways to exploit it. So hats off to them. I was going to give them my game ball this week. Just as an unbelievable performance.
Auburn and Arkansas always have storylines. It's been added to this year with the addition of Chad Morris being their offensive coordinator. So, guys, when you look at this upcoming meeting between Arkansas and Auburn, what are you looking at?
For me, I think it's going to be just how they played last week, where it's going to be fast, physical, swarming to the ball. Auburn's always going to be a physical football team where their O-line, D-line, just from my memories of playing them, you walk out there, you go, oh, good God, these guys, a little different than maybe what you saw last week. But I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder where they want to prove that, hey, we're talented. We might have been put on the back burner a little bit, but we can play some football. We can compete with the best in the country. And I think they're going to go out there and prove that.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I think, if I understand kind of the mental makeup of the guys in the locker room right now, they're going to be pretty juiced up for this one for obvious reasons. I think when you can go out and build upon what you just did this past week and knock off, Mike Leach, his first home game, and then you get to go play your former coach, who, a lot of people out there were kind of questioning the roster talent, yada yada yada. I was like, no, we have good talent on this roster. We finally just got some developmental coaches in here that know what they're talking about. I'm very excited for this. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in those meetings.
Yeah.
Feeling that I know how they're going to go. And I'm excited for this game coming up.
All right, let's give out some game balls. Travis, you alluded to it a little bit ago, but deliver your game ball for the week.
Yeah, just the defense. Well, I'll give 2 of them. The defense and then Coach Pittman for his first SEC West win. Those are hard to come by. So I know it's only one, but I need to give it out to you.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss not to talk about Bumper Pool and Grant Morgan, Joe Fucha. I mean, how hard those guys played all night was really fun to watch. Where Grant Morgan gets banged up, a lot of guys wouldn't have even came back in, but for him to put a sleeve on his arm and then go back and have 15 tackles and play as hard as he did, I mean, my hat's off to them. So my game ball goes to the whole defense, which I had 11 game balls for all those guys and the whole coaching staff, honestly. I wish I could give a game ball to the whole state, where the past 2 years it's been kind of rocky road, but just a sense of relief and the sense of pride as a state we have for them to back them and get on the train, get on the pit train, because I think he's got them going in the right direction.
Well, after this week, I think we can allow a statewide game ball. I think we can break some rules and allow it. Guys, thanks so much again for your time. Excited to talk to you next week as we look back on that Arkansas-Auburn game. The Big Trail Show coming up after the break.